All right, let's jump right into this explainer and see how, as a business owner, you can unlock a massive, completely untapped complementary market between Bangladesh and Brazil. If you're out there looking to diversify your supply chains or find fresh, hungry consumer bases, you are in exactly the right place. We're looking at a totally unique South-South economic partnership today, one that is rapidly transitioning from simple commodity trading right into a highly lucrative strategic alliance. So here is our playbook for today. We're going to cover 1. A new economic frontier. 2. Key industries for growth. 3. Overcoming language and logistics. 4. Your guide, the BBCII. And finally, 5. A step-by-step entry guide. Let's start with Section 1. A new economic frontier. Why the specific trade corridor is your next strategic pivot. Economic analysts are projecting that with targeted strategies, this bilateral trade corridor could realistically hit $5 billion annually, and that's within the next decade. You know, global supply chains are really shifting right now. Businesses are actively scrambling to find new markets well beyond their traditional and, frankly, sometimes stagnant trading partners. And what we're seeing is that Bangladesh and Brazil are uniquely positioned to become this ultimate strategic economic bridge connecting South Asia and Latin America. That $5 billion figure isn't just some wild guess either. It is heavily backed by the rapid economic sophistication happening in both of these nations right now. And it makes total sense when you realize that these two economies don't compete, they complete each other. It's like a giant puzzle. Brazil is the largest economy in Latin America, an absolute powerhouse in agriculture, raw materials, and renewable energy. Meanwhile, Bangladesh is one of the absolute fastest-growing economies in Asia and a globally recognized manufacturing hub. Think about it. Bangladesh desperately needs reliable supplies of cotton and industrial inputs to feed its massive factories. Brazil has that in abundance. Conversely, Brazil has a massive growing demand for competitively priced manufactured products, which is exactly what Bangladesh excels at producing. It is literally a textbook perfect match. Combine them, and you are staring at an expanding consumer base of 380 million people. That's 210 million consumers in Brazil and another 170 million in Bangladesh. But hey, it's not just about raw population numbers. It's about the economic momentum. Both countries are experiencing rising incomes, rapid urbanization, and a growing middle class that is hungry for diversified goods and services. Plus, establishing a foothold in Bangladesh gives you a strategic gateway into neighboring South Asian markets like India, while entering Brazil kicks open the door to the wider Mercosur region in Latin America. You aren't just accessing two countries here, you are literally accessing two entire continents. Moving on to Section 2, Key Industries for Growth. How we move beyond just commodities and into real value-added partnerships. So the current trade data shows a massive flow of agricultural inputs coming from Brazil and manufactured goods from Bangladesh. In 2025, Brazil exported around $2.72 billion worth of goods to Bangladesh, largely essentials like sugar, cotton, and cereals that feed the Bangladeshi industrial machine. But on the flip side, Bangladesh only exported about $282 million back to Brazil, mostly ready-made garments, leather goods, and footwear. Just think about that massive gap between $2.72 billion and $282 million. Sure, there's a clear trade imbalance right now, but more importantly, for a savvy business owner, that massive disparity screams incredible, untapped room for growth and diversification. Because while traditional commodities pay the bills today, the crucial point is that the future belongs to emerging sectors. If you're an investor or a business owner, this is where the exponential growth is hiding. We are talking about joint ventures in renewable energy, leveraging Brazil's deep bioenergy expertise right alongside Bangladesh's incredible solar initiatives. We're looking at digital services and IT, where cross-border collaboration is basically frictionless today. We also see huge potential in pharmaceutical manufacturing. Bangladesh's pharma industry has achieved major international recognition and is totally ready to scale up into Latin America. Okay, Section 3, Overcoming Language and Logistics, Navigating the Real Challenges of an Intercontinental Partnership. Let's be real for a second. No new market is a walk in the park. You're going to need to account for things like Portuguese and Bengali language differences, and an ocean voyage that isn't exactly a straight line. The absence of direct maritime shipping routes means you've got to rely on complex multi-port transshipment, which can obviously drive up transportation costs and delivery times. Add in some unfamiliar regulatory red tape, and it's totally easy to see why some businesses hesitate. But identifying these challenges is the very first step to completely overcoming them. To beat those barriers, you need to deploy this very practical roadmap. First up, digitize your trade platforms. E-commerce can completely bypass a lot of those traditional intermediary hurdles. Second, don't try to navigate the cultural and language differences all on your own. Utilize local institutional matchmaking to find trusted partners who speak the language and actually know the landscape. And finally, proactively plan your logistics. Since you're relying on multi-port transshipment, you need absolute visibility. Planning around advanced blockchain-enabled supply chain systems will help you track goods seamlessly and cut out those costly inefficiencies. Which brings us nicely to Section 4, your guide, the BBCI, leveraging institutional support for your market entry. To actually execute this roadmap, you need a local guide, right? Enter the Brazil-Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or BBCCI. While government support is important, sustainable economic relationships are ultimately built by businesses trusting each other. And face-to-face engagement is absolutely critical when you're entering a market where cultural understanding dictates your success. The BBCCI acts as the ultimate bridge to reduce your information gaps and foster that crucial trust in an unfamiliar terrain. Consider the exact support services they offer to new entrants. Worried about complex regulations? They provide comprehensive information and knowledge sharing. Need to meet reliable partners? They promote networking and cultural exchange. They actively organize trade missions, business delegations, and investment forums. They literally exist specifically to take the friction out of that cross-border expansion we talked about earlier. Because of this, it is highly recommended that you register as a member. Doing so instantly unlocks these matchmaking services and all those great business support tools. It's incredibly straightforward, too. Just navigate over to the membership section of the BBCII web portal. By joining, you aren't just getting a monthly newsletter. You are securing an active, powerful advocate for your business interests with policymakers and key stakeholders in both Brazil and Bangladesh. All right, let's bring it all together into Section 5, the step-by-step entry guide, a concrete playbook for establishing your cross-border presence. So, just execute these 4 steps to get started. Step 1, don't guess. Use the chamber for your initial market research to actually find out if your specific product or service has real demand. Step 2, officially register for BBCIM membership to lock in that institutional advocacy and capacity building. Step 3, get your boots on the ground. Attend face-to-face B2B events and trade fairs. A prime example is the Made in Bangladesh Expo held in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which has been massively successful at forging direct, lucrative partnerships. And finally, step 4, plant your flag. Whether you're a Brazilian company looking at Bangladesh's special economic zones or a Bangladeshi enterprise looking at Brazil, establishing a physical representative office or a joint venture is absolutely paramount for building long-term local trust. The complementary potential between Brazil and Bangladesh is just waiting for visionary entrepreneurs. We are looking at a near future where this relationship evolves from basic traditional trading right into a comprehensive strategic alliance heavily focused on technology, sustainability, and industrial development. The roadmap is crystal clear, the institutional support is ready and waiting, and a 380 million person market is totally hungry for what you have to offer. This $5 billion frontier is wide open right now. So the only question left is, will your competitors get there before you do?